Welcome, my beautiful souls. Today we're going to do another special reading. So this is going to be about Spirit's message about what's written in your 2026 soul contract. And the reading is where we're going to be asking our spirit guides to reveal who you are destined to meet. And I put early 2026. Our guides and my guides know that I don't like reading, a year out. So early 2026. And, we've been talking so much about this universal year 9 coming to an end. And then we're opening up this brand new chapter in 2026 in the year of the magician, that it should be powerful. So remember, this year is about the clearing, what's got to go, who's got to go, so that you can really have a fresh start, let's say. So again, we are looking for fated love, soulmates, twin flames, just love, baby. True love. That's what I'm looking for. True love. So we're going straight to our guys, and we're going to ask 5 questions. And I'll tell you what I'm going to ask while I'm doing that. I'm going to go ahead and give the decks a shuffle. And many of you know that everything is always pre-shuffled. But so number one, we're going to ask who's entering your life in early 2016. 2000, that would be the 9-year cycle. 2026. Why this person is fated to cross your path. You're really fated to cross each other's path. And then 3 will be lessons and blessings this love brings. Number 4, guidance from our spiritual team on this love. And then number 5 would just be what I call spiritual, like any other spiritual advice. So I call it the spiritual ending. Letting our guides have the final word. Okay, and let's shuffle. So what we're going to use is the psychic tarot to ask the questions, the crystal vision, which I'm shuffling right now. We will take 1 above, and then the gilded tarot will take 1 below. And I'm just loving this format. I feel like going straight to our guides, asking these questions. They're answering them. They're answering. It's almost like they were just like waiting, like, when are you gonna ask, Sandy? All right. So we'll use the crystal vision, the psychic tarot, and the gilded tarot. So I'm going to ask you just to calm your mind, let go of the outcome, keep your mind open. Could be someone totally different than what you think. Or it could be exactly what you're thinking. So let's connect to our guides. Okay. So number 1, who is entering your life in early 2026? Spiritual strength. Spiritual strength. That is the 9 of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands above that. Passion. And then we have Justice. Interesting. Card of Libra. But Justice is, well, it may call for you to use the Sword of Justice. The Sword of Justice is to cut ties to just whatever is no longer serving you. Sometimes it's energetic, sometimes it's people, but Justice's job is about making you whole again. So when you see Justice in the reading, yes, it probably is calling for you to use that sword, but there's a good reason for it. This is the energy of balance. And I have a feeling this is what this is speaking of. Someone who is emotionally and spiritually balanced. I feel like this person carries a lot of fire. Now, when I say fire, it doesn't mean they have to be a fire sign, but it definitely feels like this person. And the Knight of Wands is a fast moving energy. And again, I'm asking for early 2016. So I feel like what this is saying is we can look forward to someone who, let's say you've been working on your own spiritual growth. Well, I feel so have they. And that would make sense that you'd be like spiritually aligned. And again, we're even looking at soul contracts. I have a feeling that this may not be your first lifetime together. And I also feel that this person is someone who can help you well, I feel like you'll help each other to evolve even more. I'm also noticing that 9, which is the year that we're finishing. So it feels like there's a motorcycle just went by. It feels like the letting go of what was and the opening the door to the potential of what will be. So I feel the energy of like old souls. Um, and I have a feeling that you will balance each other out. You may find that this person had recently cut ties with someone, like in a relationship. But I get this sense that they're free. I definitely get this sense that they're free. And, we may go back and clarify a little bit, but let's keep going. So, why this person is fated to cross your path. The Emperor, seed planter, because the seed was planted. Boy, that's the first thing I feel. Like the seed has already been planted. It reminds me of soul contracts. This is the card of Aries, but I really feel like what this is talking about, and I love like the ring around his head. It's like spiritually awakened, right? This person, number one, this is someone that you can look up to. Keep that in mind. And goes both ways. But it's interesting because I really feel like what it's saying is that this seed has already been planted, and this just must be harvest time. Let's go above it. We have the Queen of Swords, can be Libra, Aquarius. Yeah, Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. We do have Libra right here. We have the Three of Cups, beautiful, joy. This is about rejoicing and celebration. So I feel like this seed has been planted. It may have been planted last year. Well, I'm saying last year, but in 2025. But something is telling me that this seed was planted before you even came into this lifetime. This is just the right time. I feel like, why hasn't it happened sooner? Well, number one, it is this destined time. But number two, I feel like each soul here had things that they needed to accomplish, things that they needed to clear. They needed to find their own growth, right? They each need to come to the table like with the same vibrational energy. And the Emperor is a great representation of that. Again, someone that we can look up to. This is someone who carries compassion and empathy within their heart. Definitely cares about their fellow man or woman. It's interesting. This could be someone who, um, well, you know what I'm feeling all of a sudden? I was about to say something else, but it's like spirit changed my thought. I feel some of you, or the other way around, or maybe both. I feel like you might have been praying for like true love. And again, that's what I'm looking for. You know, we can put a title to it, but really, we're looking for true love. So I feel like some of you, like you've been putting, it's like the, reminds me of the romance angels calling in your soulmate. I get the sense that's what you've been doing. And if you've been doing that, you know, you may not even know this yet, but it's probably coming from your soul. You know, it's almost like telling our spirit guides that you're ready, you're open. So are you? You definitely want to ask yourself that, like, because 2026 is right around the corner. But this is meant to be celebrated. Keep that in mind. It's meant to bring joy to your heart. So there shouldn't be issues, you know, like where I have to deal with their exes and they're dealing with my exes. That's probably what happened in 2025. And I feel 2026, I feel like everyone's coming to the table ready and able. All right. Let's see what the lessons and the blessings that this love brings. The tower. You know, I knew the tower was going to come out, but don't freak out. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. The high priestess, your intuition, and then the king of cups. So the question, the lessons and the blessings. Well, the lessons would have been in the tower, right? And I feel like with justice here, it could also be saying, you know, that I had to learn to use that sword to, you know, hand these towers out where they needed to be handed out. This is you now really trusting your intuition. And I feel like it is through the lessons that is helping you to trust your intuition more and more. By the way, when I say you, I mean both of you, because I just feel you're spiritually aligned, so you're going through similar types of energies. But these towers, you know, there's your lessons. And it's probably just overcoming the tower, like using your intuition to know that a tower doesn't mean it's the end, right? It may be end of something, but it's just the beginning of something new. And then you have the King of Cups below that. And that definitely speaks of love. You know, the King of Cups in the upright is someone to me who really appreciates having that special person by their side. And, you know, maybe they needed a lot of growth in their life. Maybe you needed growth in your life. But I feel like you are definitely becoming more and more spiritually aligned. You know, because I feel that this, it feels to me like this seed. Now, for some, it can be like, you know, you started planting these seeds last year and you're going to start to see, let's just say, those prayers, those affirmations being answered. Others, it's the soul's time. It's the time that we agreed upon. And having the emperor here makes me feel like it probably took some time, but each having their own like soul lessons. You know, even let's say if it's a twin flame, each twin flame still has like their own soul lessons that they want to learn. You know, like I came into this lifetime to get as much growth as I could possibly have. And that comes through sometimes difficult lessons. But again, this is nothing that you couldn't overcome. And I do get the sense also that some of these towers that may have happened in your life, well, they feel like they happened because of your soul's calling. You know, I may have been with someone who was in a much lower vibrational energy, and maybe I just stuck around for the comfort level. You know, even the uncomfortableness sometimes is easier than change. But I feel like the tower kind of like forces that change upon us. But it's a good thing, though it may not feel it at the time. All right, so let's see what spirit guides guidance is on this. Moving on. Moving on. That makes sense, right? Because this is about moving on from the Five of Swords, toxicity. That may be where that sword of justice is coming into play, right? Like, what's been toxic to me? Who's been toxic? Who's been standing in my way? What's been standing in my way? This is you having reflection over that. And this is you moving from that. It just means you don't want toxic energy in your life anymore. You know, like if it's a person, enough is enough. I feel like you're saying. Even this queen, I often feel like she's doing like a mic drop, like my final words, and then goodbye. Huh. Hello, lovers. Surprise, surprise. Lovers. So, you know, the lovers, first of all, it's a head over heart decision, right? But it really speaks about the chemistry of two people. I mean, it just does. And I love it sitting next to the high priestess, your intuition. So it's like your intuition, well, both of your intuitions are guiding you together. And how do I love these two sixes together? The lovers, and then the Six of Swords. Six of Swords means those five swords are now behind you. So the lover's energy is free to be if I allow it to be. Look at this. Well, there you go. So both people going through similar situations, both people, I'm saying both people, but let's just say the lover is here and whoever you're meeting, you both dealt with toxic energy. You both probably have dealt with these towers. But again, it's like spirit is saying like, yeah, we gave you that tower because it's time for the two of you now. Look at that. You know, another great thing about the Six of Swords, though it is temporarily difficult, you know, and that's just for those who have a hard time with change, it really is the promise of beautiful waters ahead, like a gorgeous beach that I just so happen to come across. It feels destined. It feels like wherever you end up, like the sun is shining. I feel like there will be no doubt. There will be no doubt. All right, well let's go ahead and get to Spirit's final advice to us regarding this love. Okay, well we have balance again, justice. That number 11, 11, 11. Make a wish. We have, interesting, the Five of Cups. And then we have the Queen of Cups in the same line of the King of Cups. Excuse me. Um, but I'm going to be honest. I kind of feel like this King of Cups, even though, the King and the Queen of Cups both really appreciate that special partner. Someone I can, if something happens during my day, you're the first person I call. But now I'm getting this sense that this king may be part of what was. And I guess what you can ask yourself is, did they carry toxic energy? Did they come between you and your dreams or make you feel less than? Because this is the opposite. The reading that we're doing today, this type of love should, I want to say put you on a pedestal, but you would do the same for them. And then we get the Five of Cups. So, in a way, I feel like we're reading for some past lives. Um, and this may be, often when I feel like past life love is coming back together, there could have been an issue in the previous life where you weren't able to come together. You probably fell in love though, because I feel like that's what remains in your heart. And for some of you, I get this sense that that you've never had true fulfillment of the heart yet. You've been in love, you've been loved, but this is of a different vibration. This is like a different dimension. And in that Five of Cups, it's asking you to ask yourself, what am I focusing on? In the Five of Cups, I'm focusing on the cups that have been knocked over, right? The love that's gone bad, that type of thing. But the five is asking for change, right? Change of focus. Remember, we have the Three of Cups, joy. And I know if you're in the Five of Cups, it's hard to find joy. But what I would say is remember in the Five of Cups, there's two cups to sit behind this person. And this is cups that they have not come across yet. Probably a past life. I shouldn't say that. Some of you, this can be someone that you know. Like, I'm not going to leave that off the table. That is my love story. Um, but again, it would be very clear because I definitely feel that everyone here is now single or on their way to being single. So they're either finishing up, like, let's say, a divorce or cutting of ties. And again, these ties that need to be cut, some of them, it can be to a person, but also think about like what you're thinking about, the law of attraction, and think about the energy of the magician, right? The ability to manifest. Like, what does the magician teach the fool? And anytime there's a new beginning, we are the fool. The magician teaches the fool that you possess all the tools you need to be successful on this new journey. One of those tools is also the high priestess, your GPS, because you're being guided. And I simply feel like I just need to follow my guidance here. I just need to follow my intuition, and the rest feels like it'll take care of itself. The Six of Swords, with both having that means that at one time there was toxic energy, but I feel like both have overcome that. Or let's say, at least by the time you come together, I feel like, let's put it this way. Even if I'm finishing up like a divorce or something like that, there's no feelings left for what was. I'm still looking forward. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. We have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles always reminds me of like starting anything new with a strong foundation. This is new love. then let's start it on a strong foundation. And sometimes that means let's not move it so quickly. Let's like get to know each other. We have partnerships and alliances. Look how they're holding each other. It's not like a handshake. How do you do? It's like, oh, I think I know you. I think I know you. And then we have the Ten of Wands mirroring that Five of Cups. So I feel like whoever's in a Five of Cups, you're definitely dealing with something difficult. Ten of Wands means that, like, probably your last relationship, maybe it was you keeping it together. Like you did all the hard work. You put the weight of the relationship on your shoulders. It wasn't an equal give and take, and that must be part of also those five swords. But then we go into partnerships and alliances, and I have to say that this is about your individuality, is celebrating who you are. But I feel like it's saying that each love here will recognize the other. Listen, I may not know, like, are you past life lover? Are you soulmate? They're definitely a soulmate. Um, but I don't even think it's about the title. It's just this recognition. It's this feeling that I have, right? There's something here. There's something here. Something makes me want to look at that. No wonder I was saying I wasn't sure about this King of Cups. Well, now the King of Cups is the one who is under the Ten of Wands, so I feel like is responsible for those 10 wands. And I'm saying the King of Cups doesn't have to be a water sign. I feel like it's just talking about love. And literally, I mean, the Six of Swords, where you're moving on, it literally has you moving on from the king. But then we have the queen. So I feel like the queen became single, by the way, and be male or female. She became single. And she's mirroring the justice card with justice right above her also. The one thing I want to say is I feel like this queen, again, male or female, can say that in my relationships, I have tried. I am someone who does try to give my all, but I'm not, or I haven't been receiving that back. And again, I feel this sense of like, I haven't had this true fulfillment. I've been in love, but for some reason, my heart has not felt fulfilled. Well, get ready. Get ready. I think it's beautiful that the lovers came out right next to the high priestess. So if it is ahead of a hard decision, well, your intuition will let you know. But this isn't anything to fear. Quite the opposite. Okay, so I feel like people coming in, I feel like are people we can look up to. I definitely feel this person or people, um, I feel like they have their shit together. You know what I mean? Like they have a good job. Um, they take care of their bills, that type of thing. I don't feel like they put any weight on your shoulders as it relates to that. And I don't feel it the other way either. I feel both have reached a status where probably many do look up to you. And now you're going to find someone who, well, I kind of feel is going to put you on a pedestal. But I feel like you'll turn around and do the same thing. All right, let's bring out the clarifying love situations. Give them a cut. All right. Well, those came out quick and we got a lot. But, I am going to take them. Um, and you do want to take them the way they came out, and I'll show you why. So when you look at the card, there's a message on either side. If it would have came out this way, this would have been our message, but it came out this way. Shards of love. Past trauma leaves scars. Take time to heal yourself. Past trauma leaves scars. Take time to heal yourself. Fool's gamble. Beware the deceit of tricksters, as risky paths can lead to downfalls. Interesting. That definitely feels like it's talking about your past. We have silent remnants. Admit the uncertainty. Love has the power to rebuild trust. And I do feel like that's what some of you really need, right? Like, I feel like trust issues have been a problem. So to me, this feels very good that it came out because I definitely feel like it's saying like this is love that you can trust. This is someone that you can trust. Dance of souls. Be vulnerable and let your two hearts intertwine. Be vulnerable and let your two hearts intertwine. Temporary relief. Distractions aren't a quick fix for deeper issues. I feel like that's just saying, it reminds me of Universal Year 9 and understanding what it is that I want and what it is I no longer want. It's interesting, it is coming over the tower, which says disruption. And here, distractions aren't a quick fix for deeper issues. Going within. Tender attentions. With care and concern, approach gently, nurturing with soft, kind gestures. Interesting. And then lightning strikes. Dismantle outdated ways of being to get a fresh start. So it's kind of like giving us advice on what we can do now to make sure that we're ready for this. So let's go ahead and bring out the romance angels. Give them a cut. Let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. I like that. That tells me that this is going to be like an easy flowing type of love. And I love that there's, maybe why I'm doing this reading now, because I really felt called to do this reading. And I don't like reading too far ahead, but there was something that made me do this reading. And I feel like part of it is so, let's say you're still hung up on whether to cut ties with someone or a certain type of energy. Well, this will show you why, the importance of that, if you so choose, because that's free will. But I feel like once this enters, then just allowing it to flow. Soulmate. Yes. This is your soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Just allowing it to flow. So, I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm feeling. Um, I definitely feel the similarities between the two, even the situations. They're going to be similar, but different, but maybe not different. I feel like, I don't know how this person was in love, let's say in their younger years, but I feel like this is talking about definitely someone who's ready for love, wants love. So you're putting out those affirmations, but I have a feeling so are they. And I wouldn't be surprised because, again, for some of you, I feel like it's predestined, right? The emperor represents a seed planter. And I feel like those seeds, again, have already been planted. And now it's about the clearing of the stage so the next play can open up with this soulmate, the lovers, right? Undeniable chemistry with the lovers. Even the Knight of Wands would represent that, the passion that you'll feel. And listen, the freer your energy, I don't know, the easier this flows, let's just say. But, I also want to say, though, that, you might still have broken little pieces, and so might they. And this is what's so great about soulmates. Soulmates can really help heal each other. Soulmates lift you up. That's probably why I kept saying a pedestal. They lift you up. They don't put you down. So if you're connected to someone and you're saying they're a soulmate, but yet they're treating you like shit, they may not be your soulmate. This is your soulmate. Chemistry, you won't be able to deny it. You're meant to celebrate this. It's meant to bring you joy. And it's interesting because after the lessons of the Five of Swords, which is difficult energy, but energy that it looks like both of you are certainly able to overcome. And it is through your spiritual strength, I feel. So I love how I feel like you are so much alike, but I don't mean it in like, I don't know how I mean it. I mean it as in like past lives and this may come as you talk more and more, right? As you let go of control and just allow it to flow, you may start to feel like familiar energy. That's because they're your soulmate. I mean, I love that's our last card. Yes, this is your soulmate. And it is after the fact. Understand that. It's after the tower. It is after you've moved on. And this is again why I'm probably doing this reading now. Kind of like giving you, what do we have? The rest of October, November, December, and then boom. Hello, 2026. Hello, Year of the Magician. And the awesome power that that gives us. So plant those seeds. For some of you, I feel like the seeds have already been planted and just expect to blossom. Just expect it to blossom. All right, I'm going to let that be. I didn't want this to be too long, but I feel like it told us a lot in a little bit of time. I know some people be like, a little bit of time, Sandy? Well, for my readings, yes. Um, but yeah, I'm going to let that be. But yes, this is your soulmate. Thank you, Divine. And thank you. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.